Guangdong road collapses in an instant? Witnesses shocked. Rat head found in instant noodles. Live rat seen in Dongguan cafeteria. Extreme heavy rainfall has hit Henan, swept away livestock. Large casino closes in Macau. Hong Kong could follow suit. As China's real estate market faces major issues, an increasing number of shoddy construction projects are coming to light. This year, severe flooding in the southern regions has led to multiple incidents of road and railway collapses across the country. On July 15th, a section of the Bada Road in Dongguan caved in, but fortunately no one was injured and no vehicles were damaged. The local authorities have taken emergency measures. According to a shop owner near the collapse site, the noise was extremely loud, like an earthquake. Another shop owner mentioned that the collapse happened around 11 a.m., and luckily no vehicles fell into the hole. Online, there's been criticism that this incident highlights the problem of shoddy construction in infrastructure projects. While the government boasts of economic miracles, it fails to ensure basic public safety. Each road collapse reveals bureaucratic negligence and corruption. On July 11th, a bridge in Jiangkou town, Chongqing, was washed away by floods, floating on the water. A local government claimed the bridge was still under construction and not yet in use, promising repairs after the flood. However, some people think the flood might have prevented more significant casualties by destroying the poorly built bridge. It's widely believed that corruption and shoddy construction go hand in hand. Since the bridge was under construction, it should have been designed to withstand floods, especially considering changes brought by the Three Gorges Dam. The bridge's collapse indicates it was poorly built due to corruption. On the same day, a road in Enshi, Hubei, also collapsed after heavy rain. The person who filmed the scene described the shoddy road as being worse than an earthquake, collapsing much faster than expected. They noted that the road seemed fine when they arrived, but became impassable after the rain. Meanwhile, protests over poorly constructed buildings are also ongoing. On June 30th, Mr. Chen from Zhuzhou, Hunan, reported that his recently acquired apartment was in terrible condition, with the floor easily pierced by wooden sticks and large chunks of cement falling off. Despite this, he felt compelled to move in because it was an expensive apartment in a school district necessary for his child's education. On June 19th, about 200 villagers in Jidiao Village, Pingtan County, Fujian, protested again at the county petition office. They were demanding action for the poor quality of their resettlement homes, which had severe issues like hollow support columns, cracked ceilings, and leaking walls. Despite receiving these homes 4 years ago, most villagers still did not dare to move in. On May 16th, a netizen reported that the Evergrande Four Seasons Shandong community in Shenyang was another example of shoddy construction. The video showed half-blocked sewers and tiles that could be lifted by hand, revealing wooden boards underneath. The netizen described the construction as extremely poor. Dissident Fan Shigui, who is exiled in the Netherlands, believes that under the corrupt CCP system, projects are subcontracted multiple times, with most of the funds being embezzled by corrupt officials. This leaves contractors with minimal funds, leading to cost-cutting and shoddy construction. Commentator Tang Jingyuan bluntly stated that most of the profits in the real estate sector are divided among the CCP's red aristocracy and officials at various levels. This widespread corruption is the root cause of shoddy construction, as contractors cut corners to make a profit. Netizens sarcastically remarked, in ancient China, they built temples in the middle of the mountains that appeared to hang in thin air. Now they're constructing buildings made of thin air. It looks grand on the outside, but it's rotten inside. Recently, food safety issues in China seem to have a recurring problem with rats. On July 15th, a netizen from Hangzhou, Zhejiang, reported finding what looked like a rat's head in a bowl of instant noodles. They initially couldn't believe it and even took a bite, only to find it had a strong, unpleasant taste. Upon spitting it out, they discovered hair and teeth, confirming it was indeed a rat's head. This incident quickly went viral. However, the user's account was soon wiped clean, and the account's bio mysteriously read, "You can't fight against the system." On July 14th, a netizen in Chengdu found an entire rat in their takeout order of braised chicken rice. They initially thought the black object in their meal was a seasoning, but upon closer inspection, they saw eyes staring back at them and realized it was a rat. On July 13th, a cafeteria at the Dongguan Fuchang electronics factory, a rat was seen crawling over the food, alarming the workers. Some workers mentioned that as far back as 2021, they had found foreign objects in their meals. These food safety issues are not new in China and have been a problem for years. Recently, there was a scandal involving oil tankers transporting cooking oil without cleaning out the coal-based oil residue from previous shipments. Reports suggest that this cost-saving method is an open secret in the supply chain, with tankers often carrying a mix of syrup, soybean oil, and chemical liquids like coal-based oil. This has reignited public concern about food safety, and many people expected the government to respond. Some netizens remembered statements made by Chinese leader Xi Jinping 11 years ago when he vowed to address food safety. Despite these promises, many feel the government has failed to protect the people. Since taking office in 2012, Xi Jinping has repeatedly pledged to solve China's notorious food safety issues. In 2013, he stated that if the party couldn't ensure food safety, it would face legitimacy issues, emphasizing the need for urgent attention to this problem. Critics argue that if the government can't ensure basic food safety, its governance capabilities are questionable. The Chinese dream might just be a facade to cover up poor governance and harsh realities. Commentator Qing Peng noted that in the U.S., leaders and the public eat the same food. In contrast, Chinese officials have exclusive food supplies grown organically and free from GMOs, while they pay only a symbolic amount for meals. This lack of personal stake means officials have little motivation to tackle food safety issues. John Kojiro Yasuda, a political science professor at Johns Hopkins University, believes that despite decades of effort, China is still in the early stages of reforming their food safety system. He emphasized that improving China's food safety system is ongoing and cannot be resolved overnight. Ironically, after the cooking oil scandal, an app providing truck location information disabled its tracking feature. Additionally, a journalist who exposed the scandal had his social media account deleted, suggesting a threat to his safety. These frequent food safety incidents occurred around the time of China's high-profile third plenary session, leading some to speculate whether the government is using these issues to divert attention away from natural disasters and overall corruption. Commentator Li Lingyi suggested that the media exposure might be a government ploy to shift focus from its crises and extract illicit gains from the food transportation industry. Extreme heavy rainfall has hit Henan province, causing significant flooding. From July 15th to the morning of July 16th, Nanyang and other areas experienced torrential downpours, with the largest rainfall recorded in Sheqi County, Nanyang. A resident living on the outskirts of Nanyang reported that water entered their home, causing the refrigerator to float, forcing them to relocate to a relative's house. Other residents mentioned that both the streets and their homes were flooded, with livestock being swept away and water levels reaching several meters high. In one video, an elderly person is seen kneeling and praying for the rain to stop as the water continues to rise. A woman is heard pleading, "Dear heavens, please stop the rain. We rely on these crops for our livelihood. Now the crops are drowned. How can we survive? We poor farmers are the most pitiful." Another woman shared a video saying that at 2 a.m., she found her house flooded, with the refrigerator and bed floating. The water in the yard was almost neck-deep, and she nearly got swept away. A resident of Xinye County, Nanyang, who was out on an errand, said that while the water level was not very high at that moment, it was expected to rise. He mentioned that roads were blocked, and water was still flowing. He anticipated that the water level would rise by 4 p.m. and expressed concern about the situation. A restaurant worker in Sheqi County mentioned that due to the flooding, highways were blocked, preventing many guests from returning home and forcing them to extend their stay at the hotel. Rural areas were heavily flooded, though the situation in the city was slightly better, with water reaching a third of the height of car tires and, in some places, the vehicle's exhaust pipes. She added that although the rain had lessened, the future situation was uncertain and residents were on high alert. Meanwhile, video shows severe water accumulation at the underpass of Jingshan Road in Luohe, Henan, with vehicles submerged. Multiple vehicles were seen floating at Taihangshan South Road. Several areas, including a building materials market, were flooded. Pedestrians struggled to wade through waist-deep water. As Henan faces its worst water conditions, heavy rain, lightning, and hail also struck Lhasa, Tibet, on July 16th, covering the streets in a white blanket. The hail damaged canopies at storefronts, and due to the heavy rain, cars had to navigate through the water even into the evening. Many commented on the rarity of hail